When I first started Betfair trading, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos out there, like I'm sure you're doing now, trying to learn the secret formula to be a profitable Betfair trader. What I found though was that a lot of people were talking heavily about psychology. I've watched some courses as well where big sections of them were designed entirely about psychology. I used to think, oh my god, not more psychology, yes, skip. I get it, you need to have good psychology. But what I was being incredibly naive. The reason that these people talk about psychology so much is that psychology is the number one variable which separates losing traders to profitable traders. One particularly key area of psychology which I find interesting and is very relevant to trading is loss aversion. Loss aversion is a term coined by Daniel Kahneman and his colleague Amos Tversky. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Daniel Kahneman you might know from the famous book Thinking Fast and Slow. And on screen there I'm showing you a graph which perfectly represents loss aversion. Loss aversion is being both risk averse and also risk seeking. Let me quickly define them. So risk averse is when you're afraid of taking risk, you don't want to take any risk at all. And risk seeking is obviously the opposite of that. That's where you're taking lots and lots of risks. So you might think, aren't they two opposites? How can you be both of them at the same time? Well, it actually refers to what your current position is in the market. See, if you're in a losing position, you tend to be risk seeking. So that means instead of just cashing out for a small loss, which you should do, you instead risk seek and want to risk more and more for a bigger loss, just for the hope of getting that winning trade. So you shouldn't be risk seeking. If the trade goes wrong, you should just cash out. You got it wrong. Move on. But we as humans and our stupid brains, we decide that we should leave the trade open for longer, putting us at more and more risk, and more often than not, we let the trade run for its entirety and lose our entire stake. And on the flip side, if you was in a winning position and your trade is in the green at the minute, this is where you tend to become risk averse. You decide, I don't want to be taking risks now. So even if you've got plenty more profit to work with, and it might be the right decision to leave the trade open for longer, to get more profit, because you become risk averse and you're afraid of losing the profit that you've got, you tend to cash out earlier than you should do. So let's break that down. If you're losing, you don't cash out early enough and let your trade run on for a bigger loss. And if you're winning, you cash out far too early out of your trade and don't let your profit run long enough. So that's loss aversion, and as it might sound, it's basically a double-edged sword when it comes to trading. You stab yourself when you're losing and you stab yourself when you're winning. In general day-to-day life terms, I think loss aversion makes sense. I think the fear of losing should actually be bigger than the positives of winning. Because let's assume, for example, you was to flip a coin, and if you lost the coin flip, you would lose everything you had, or if you won the coin flip, you would triple everything you had. Clearly, from an expected value perspective, doing this coin flip is positive in expected value. It is a good flip to take. But I personally believe you'd be some sort of psychopath to want to take that risk of losing everything. You'd have to have literally nothing to take that coin flip. That's why I think it's justified to be more scared of losing than be more happy about winning. However, when you get into the trading markets, things change. You have to try and take these evolutionary instincts off the table and think cold-bloodedly about the market that you're in. This is why it's so important that if you get something wrong, you should just cash out for a loss at the earliest opportunity. I've been doing a lot of under 2.5 goals trading recently, and sometimes I've been guilty of not cashing out if a goal goes in early. I might think, oh, I'll just leave it for a bit longer and I'll cash out when the prices come back in. This is completely the wrong process. If you've done the under 2.5 goal trade and a goal has gone in early, simply your pre-match data for that game was just wrong. Or you've got unlucky, a goal's gone in, it is what it is. It's the best process to just cash out now, move on to the next trade. Yes, you've lost, doesn't matter, you can move on, there's more trades, there's hundreds of football matches per week that you can trade on. But so often, we as people want to let the trade run and another goal goes in and your loss is doubled. This is just a terrible situation. And I know because I feel this when I'm trading. I've been there, done that, and I don't want you to do these same things. It gets tricky when it goes the other way, when your position starts to go in the green and you think, oh, a bit of profit there, I should cash out now. And yes, cashing out is obviously good, you're getting a profit there. But if you're cutting out earlier than you initially planned at the start of the trade, say if you wanted to, again, I'm using the under 2.5 goal market as an example. Say if you plan to cash out after 15 minutes, it's currently 12 minutes, still nothing's happened in the game for you to be worried about the trade, but you're thinking, I should just cash out now. What's the extra 5 or 10% I can get on this trade when I can cash out now? That type of psychology is resonant to me because it's something that I feel too when I'm trading. Something I'm working on eliminating from my trading to get results that are higher in profit and losses that are lower in value. And how do I do that? Well, it's tough. One of the biggest things that I can recommend is simply practice. Trade more often. Yes, jump onto Betfair with small stakes that is at first, and just get used to the process of winning and the process of losing. If when you're putting stakes in you're scared of losing that money, then you're just trading that stakes are too high. You want to be lowering stakes where you're not feeling that psychological attachment to money. When you trade more often, you simply learn to have more rigid entry and exit points. You don't panic and try to cash out too early when you go in profit. When you go for a loss, you simply accept it. There's more trades I can do, get out for a loss here, move on to the next one. Something I'm obviously not perfect at myself and something I still have to this day, but it's something that happens less and less. I have much more robust psychology, and I'm starting to see less big losses, which I used to see not even that long ago, a few months ago. I'd like to jump in here and thank my patrons who are making videos like this possible. If you also want to sign up to my Patreon and get exclusive trading videos, trading content, and join our Discord group, you can find the link to that in the description box below, and any support is much appreciated. I do have something important to say here, is that psychology alone is simply not going to make you a profitable trader. You also need the strategies to go with the psychology. The two together make you a profitable trader. In any situation, a profitable strategy is determined on backing at odds that have a high expected value. If you want to learn more about expected value and how to calculate it, you can check out this video I've made, and I hope, along with your good psychology, applying these principles will make you a profitable trader.